obviously Willow and Xander come up and they're like, hey, we saw those zebras f***ing. Willow compared it to the Heimlich with stripes.
I don't like it.
I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like it.
The question is, were they f***ing to staying alive? Oh, wait, that's not the Heimlich.
No,
that's
that's
CPR.
Oh, God,
Imagine if you're choking and somebody is rhythmically Heimliching you.
while singing
They're
that
like,
song.
I can't breathe. And you're like, but I got to stay on beat, dog.
This is already my favorite episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Kim, you're hired. Welcome to the Hellmouth. Hope everybody's doing 5x5. This is Major Slayage. Ket and Arik rewatch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm Arik. To my right, your left, my beautiful, enchanting, brilliant, hilarious co-host. You know her as half of the powerhouse duo that is Kim and Ket Stay Alive. Maybe. My wife, not yours, Ketryn Porter.
Hello.
And we're joined by a very special guest today. To my left, your right, the amazing, talented, lovely, and equally hilarious other half of the powerhouse duo that is Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe, with the modeliest hands in all of Sunnydale. Please give it up for Kimberly, Erin, Marie, Maleficent, Jesus Burns.
Hello.
Who is my wife, not yours.
Correct.
So yeah, I guess what we used to say back when Kim was single, she's good in lockdown now, but the three of us would hang out and Ketryn would always be, Arik, you realize when it's the three of us, you're the third wheel,
right?
Not Kim. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, totally. So I expect to get picked on a lot today.
I was
and
Ketryn's first wife.
Yeah.
So it's
true.
only fair.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have a good amicable thing here. We've learned to share.
My
her.
sister wives.
we're your harem, as it were.
Yeah.
All right. So we're doing this is season 1, episode 6, The Pack.
I would like, before we start, for Kim to say why she was invited to this specific episode today.
Well, for those who are not patrons of our other podcast, Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe on there we were watching From.
Which is great. Highly recommend.
Love it so much. Look, Ketryn has a bit more of a thing, which probably comes out a lot here,
Mm-hmm.
of just recognizing acting.
Yeah.
I tend to just be along for the ride. You know, I'm like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
I'm just down for the story. But one character has really brought out.
My ire.
Yes. Ket's ire and even mine.
I know.
Which never happens.
I know.
And that's Jim.
Jim.
Jim from.
Yeah. Jim from.
What is
So-
that actor's name?
Ian Bailey.
Okay.
So I recognized him when we started watching From. And listen, here's what I think happened. He was blessed genetically with an incredible face, a jawline that could chisel glass.
Beautiful eyes.
Beautiful eyes. I just think that he was like, here are my laurels. I'm going to rest on them forever. And just like didn't really take an acting class.
Never had to develop a personality.
Never had to develop a personality or talent. And it shows. And I recognized him from this episode, but hadn't quite placed it yet. And when I realized that we were going to do an episode with Jim, I said, Kim, you have no choice. Be at my house or else.
She did. And here I am.
So here
So
she
I
is.
guess it's important. I don't actually know the answer to this question. I know that Buffy is your comfort show. You've watched
Mhm.
the whole thing dozens of times. I've seen the whole thing through a couple times, but the first few seasons I haven't watched in several years.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm more likely to watch 5 through 7 if
Mhm.
I'm going to sit down and rewatch. Where is Buffy for you?
I actually don't know this either, like where it lives for you.
I watched it when it was live.
Yeah.
Like I watched most of it. I watched Angel,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just
A
like
show.
another show. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It didn't, to be honest, like it didn't live in like my heart the way that The Craft did, or even Buffy the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I used to sing "How funky is your chicken? How funky is your chicken?"
How
I
loose
loved
is your
it
goose?
Yeah.
so much. I would do the full dance.
It's so good.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me the way that like the movies did.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But I did watch it all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it because I only watched it live. I've never
Right.
watched it ever again.
And who knows, when we were having, this is for the children out there, when we were having to watch things live, you missed an episode,
Yeah.
you missed an episode.
I wasn't taping them on the VCR. Like
Right.
I wasn't like obsessed with it that much. So yeah, if I missed it, I missed it. So it was just kind of whenever I caught them.
Interesting. So when do you think before watching? So we just did the watch along for this episode, which you can get on our Patreon. We do episode length watch alongs for every episode, us reacting to it. Again, for me, sometimes seeing it for the first time in years, especially these early seasons. We also have the audio version of our podcast where you can listen to it in your earballs. That's on Patreon as well. And we did an episode about the Buffy movie as a warm-up episode. So we have that on the Patreon. So we just did our watch along. Before today, doing the watch along, when was the last time you watched an episode of Buffy? Like not since it aired?
Like
Probably
when was Buffy live? The 1990,
or I would
whatever
say
it
when
was.
it had to, when you lived with me at some point.
Yeah, I think it ran from
No?
like 97
Oh,
to
wow.
like 2004 is maybe when it ended, somewhere in there.
And then in the 2000s,
We were in
I probably
college.
wasn't watching. Like I was
Yeah.
in theater, and
Right.
Yeah.
So,
played practice all the time. So it was probably the late 90s.
Yeah.
okay. Well,
This is fun.
That's fun. Yeah. So, we have a segment that Ketryn created on this show where we get to air marital grievances.
Yeah.
I didn't bring anything for that today. I don't know if you have anything.
I do
will say,
have a marital grievance.
hold that thought though.
Okay.
But I thought since Kim is here, if you have any either grievances about your partner, or if you want to talk about something about the way KKSAM is going that you would like to bring to the table,
Yeah.
feel free. If not, I'm sure Ketryn will talk her ears off with something I did.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to talk
Think
your
about
ears
it while
off
she does
with
that.
something he did. I went to sleep last night. I was asleep.
This is bad. I'll concede this
Yeah.
before you even say it.
Yeah. And you know, our very old sweet dog, like it's difficult to get her to go to sleep, especially if I go to sleep before Eric does. So lights are out. It's all quiet. Ethel's finally gotten to sleep. I've got my eye mask on. I'm out. This absolute terrorizing motherfucker comes in full voice, turns the full overhead light on. And I said, "Excuse me? Yes? What?" And he says, "I want to show you something." And I said, "Can you turn the light off?" And then he went, "Fine, turn the light off," marched away. I just went to sleep.
Well,
And I said, "This motherfucker, if he tries to come at me for the attitude, fisticuffs."
Well, I didn't ever come at you.
Yeah, he
But
did.
there was be no way to show you what I wanted to show you with the light off either. So I just
So maybe
bailed.
wait till the next day, like you did.
Do you know what it was I wanted to show you?
Your mustache.
I shaved last. So I've lost like 26 pounds on Manjaro so far. My face has a different shape. My glasses don't fit. I'm getting new glasses. But as I was shaving, I got to this bit last. I don't know if you can even see it. It's nascent. It's a very early stages mustache. But I was very excited. I was like, oh, I think my face can pull off a mustache now.
Mhm.
And I was excited to share. And so I barged into the room, lights on. Look at that. And you're like, fuck off. So
Oh, if you're wondering
I'm
if
having,
yeah,
what's the word for
you're having a marital grievance with
just imagining that
Yeah.
happening to me, because that's truly one of the worst things you can
Yeah.
do to me. Just wake me up.
Also, if you're wondering if he woke Ethel up, he did.
the dog.
Yeah. So
She's in here with us, but she's in her bed right now. So if she makes her way over, we'll let her pop up and say hi, because
Yeah.
people really respond to Ethel. I think there's a certain percentage of people that
Or
they
she's
only
a
watch
go
for
Ethel.
Ethel.
yeah, that's true. Okay,
Kim,
so
do you got anything you'd like to either air about the three of us as KKSAM,
or do you want to
do you
just
wanna
stick with
call-
my marital grievance?
I'm like really upset by that one. Still, I'm not gonna lie. It's actually it would actually make me hate your mustache for the rest of time. Like
Oh,
you wouldn't have given your mustache
see?
a chance if you did that.
Whereas
to me.
you're kind of supportive of the
But-
mustache.
Well,
We're still
Like, I would've been
auditing
like,
it.
well, you ruined it by the way you tried to show it to me.
we have not
Um,
committed to the mustache, but we're giving it a shot.
so
I don't have any current ones.
Okay.
The only thing that ever came up is things that I've said long ago about Ketryn when we lived together, which are just funny things, stupid things.
yeah, Kim had
Cheese
some-
bags.
cheese bags. I don't know why. I don't know why I did this. I like to eat cheese slices, and I don't know why I don't throw the wrapper away. I don't know why. I don't know
That
why.
little part that you rip off the top. That
Yeah.
would be on the counter every day.
I
Cheese
don't-
bags, peanut butter spoons, and the lights always on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the lights. I got to keep the lights
Oh,
on.
Kim.
I got
The fucking lights.
It's just like you walk into a room and you automatically hit the button.
Yeah.
So like when you walk out, you automatically hit the button.
I like to walk through light.
I have a thing where we sit down to watch TV of an evening. I literally have to get up and shut off like 9 or 10 lights
Yes,
so that I can sit
know.
down and enjoy myself.
Every light in the home is on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes I get sarcastic about it. I'm like, I just got to turn on a few more lights and I'll be ready to watch TV.
Okay.
All
well,
right, good. I like that the bullying isn't just coming this direction.
It's all fair bullying.
So next we do a spell.
Oh, yeah.
We're kind of jammed in here. We're getting all
all
jammed up here, Joe.
All jammed up here, Joe.
So I'm going to scoot out of the way to let you do your spell. You can explain what's happening, and
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
So just a really simple spell today. I just wrote an intention on a piece of burned paper. That's my marital grievance with Kim, her inability to use cups effectively.
She has a drinking problem.
She does have a real drinking problem. So I just made an intention for us to spark. May we all find our pack that lifts us up rather than pulls us down.
Yes. Would you hold this?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, Kim, you use it as like the mic on what she's doing. That way.
It's not going to make a sound.
It's a little ASMR. There's all kind of stuff happening. And again, Kim, she just came up with this spell bit so she could start a fire every week on the show.
I know.
Ooh. Look at that.
Now I'm supposed to sit there and catch on fire? Is that?
Yeah, you are. It's burned paper, so it goes out pretty quick.
Okay.
See? It's already out.
Beautiful.
There we go.
I'm going to burn a pentagram into my back against this thing.
All right, off we go. Guys, do you want to go to the zoo?
Depends on the zoo.
Yeah, depends on the zoo. Let's go to this zoo, Sunnydale Zoo. I hear that they treat their animals very ethically.
We've seen no evidence of that in this episode.
I believe it in my heart. So we're at the zoo. Buffy is wearing her Mary Tyler Moore outfit. And first line of the show is from our dear friend Jim, who walks up and says, "Oh, look, it's Buffy and all of her friends." And I did not do an exaggerated performance just then. That was fully how he delivered the line.
And Buffy's alone, so it's meant to be a sick burn.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So how was it seeing him for the first time, Kim?
It was upsetting.
Yeah. So we got a sense that Jim, his name is not Jim in the show.
Well, we're gonna call him Jim.
Nor is his name Jim in real life. It is his character on From, but he will hitherto forth be known as Jim. He's got a pack of other 27-year-old high schoolers.
Well, there's 3 college kids and someone's mom
in
this group.
Who are the high school kids
The
that
mean
are
kids.
the bullies, the mean kids.
Dollar store Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Oh my God, totally.
Which one? The short hair one?
Yeah,
spiky
Courtney Cox
hair.
from
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see that.
from the Bruce Springsteen video, Courtney Cox.
Oh, right. Yeah. So we're set up with these bullies. They're going to be the big bad of the episode, clearly. We obviously Willow and Xander come up and they're like, "Hey, we saw the zebras fucking and it was fun." And that's and
Yeah. This is a side note.
What?
That has nothing to do with the show.
Oh, great. I can't wait.
Did you see the video of the elephants in San Diego after the earthquake?
Yeah, so they all got in a circle.
Baby.
Did you see
I never saw this.
Oh my gosh. So they sensed it coming before it happened. And so there's this video of all of these elephants just sort of like, "Whoa," and then the earthquake comes and you see the camera shaking and they all circle up.
That's
the baby.
amazing.
They
Yeah.
protect the
Oh,
babies.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, it's really
I'll drop that
beautiful.
video
It's
onto
amazing.
this.
Yeah, it's so
Wow.
sweet. It's pretty incredible.
I mean, is it zebras fucking cool? But
Willow compared it to the Heimlich with stripes. I was like,
I don't like it.
I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like
The
it.
question is, were they fucking to staying alive? Oh wait, that's not the Heimlich.
No,
that's
that's
CPR.
Stay alive.
Oh God,
Imagine
that's
if you're choking and somebody is rhythmically Heimliching you.
while singing
They're
that
like, I
song.
can't breathe. And you're like, but I gotta stay on beat, dog.
Oh gosh.
man.
All right.
This is already my favorite episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Kim, you're hired.
Yeah. So Jim and his cronies head over to this poor 28-year-old nerd who's just trying to
Oh, Lance.
I know, and he's just trying to like draw animals or something. And he's terrible to them. to him. I mean,
They're terrible to him.
yeah.
They're saying that him looking at the chimpanzees is a family reunion, and does his mom still pick nits off of him, and like all kinds of just
Mean.
Yeah.
High
Really
schoolers are
mean.
mean.
I also like, I don't remember high school kids being this overt with their
they weren't doing a Comedy Central roast. They were just like excluding people,
right.
and like talking shit behind their back.
But
mostly.
like, I don't remember like bullies like circling around the nerd. And just,
You're the nerd.
but that's definitely what the vibe was.
Yeah. These motherfuckers were hyenas from the
They
jump.
were.
Yeah.
They didn't have to become hyenas.
Right.
They were already pretty.
But Jim somehow got better as an actor when he was a hyena. So
Right.
I don't know what happened there.
Right.
It was some magic for sure.
I think it's what we call typecasting. He needed to be typecast as a
Hyena?
hyena for the rest of his career.
I remember it was so. My mom. This is so cruel and unfair because I like this guy so much, but my mom couldn't stand Macaulay Culkin as a kid actor.
What?
And she said the only thing he was good in was The Good Son, where he played an evil little shit. Because I think that's probably how he is in real life. So my mom was like, Macaulay Culkin only could pull off playing evil.
I love that your mom hated child Macaulay
yeah.
Culkin.
she would go on extended rants about it.
But it's also
She's a weird
interesting
lady.
because it's actually like definitively untrue.
Oh,
like
he's a
Macaulay
lovely guy.
yeah, and
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
actually like a really respected child actor,
And has turned into a really cool adult.
Yeah.
and had to divorce his parents.
Yeah, he did.
Like his parents were the ones your mom should have
Yeah.
been making fun of.
Yeah, she doesn't know what's going on.
So they decide that they're going to go check out the hyena house with Lance. So they're like, come on, Lance.
Because Lance doesn't rat them out to the principal.
Oh, right.
Right. But they're also, the hyena house is caution taped off.
Right.
So because they're the bad kids, they're like, well, we got to go to the one place we can't go.
And I think we solved a mystery from the previous several episodes, which is why they never use crime scene tape at any of the
So
murder.
many crimes at Sunnydale High. Not a cop, not an inch of crime scene tape anywhere. They're just dead bodies out for people to examine and look at.
And a
all at the
librarian
zoo.
and a bunch of kids can just get access to all the crime scenes, all the bodies. But there is metric tons. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's 20,000 leagues of crime scene tape
Yeah.
all over the hyena enclosure.
20,000 leagues. Okay. So yeah, they're going to go bring him to the hyena house, but this is where Xander, and we really need to clock these moments. Put a stake in it. We have to clock these moments. We shit talk Xander so much when he's being an asshole. And I really feel like we need to lean on the times where he like is the heart and
Right.
like puts himself out there, because he sees that Lance is being led away by the hyena dorks. And he's like, I got to go check on this.
Right.
I got to go follow.
And it's very
him.
gallant.
That's true.
Yeah, he didn't have to do it,
Mhm.
you know? So they head into the hyena house, and we learn. So Willow and Buffy get stopped by the hyena wrangler, and he's like, are you blind or illiterate? And I'm like, these are children, sir. And he's like, they just came from Africa. They're quarantined.
Right.
Inside the habitat, they fucking try to throw Lance into the hyena enclosure, which I'm just like, this isn't bullying.
Yeah, that's beyond.
Yeah. This is.
That's attempted murder.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Genuinely.
Okay.
And this is before they become hyenas. Spoiler alert. If you've never watched this show and you're decided to tune into this, I don't know what you're thinking. We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
But we're going to spoil the thing.
Yeah. So they go to throw him in. Xander stops them.
Steps in.
Yeah. And-
Saves Lance.
Yeah. But unfortunately, these are not normal hyenas. And all of a sudden, we see little glowy eyes.
On maybe the worst puppet
Animatronic.
head.
It looked
Nothing. It's a stuffed animal that a guy's doing with his hand.
It looked like the guy in Never Ending Story.
Never ending story. Yes, the nothing. Or no, the wolf that is talking about them. Yes. But somehow that wolf was so bad, but so scary.
So scary.
This is just like, and they hide it in shadows, but you get like a little weird little hyena cub face. Eyes glow yellow, and then one by one, our four bullies eyes glow.
And then Xander turns to the camera. Blink, blink. His eyes glow.
Did his eyes glow, or did he just make a mean face?
No,
I
his
forget.
eyes glue.
His eyes glued.
It's like the end of the Thriller video when Michael Jackson turns around and he's got the werewolf eyes. It's
totally
exactly
that.
Yeah. Oh, one important plot point that we did learn from the Wrangler, though, was that that Kim and I are thinking about postmorteming on our own postmortem, was that hyenas understand human speech, and there are legends in Africa that they learn the names of people and call them in the middle of the night to bring them towards them.
You up?
Yeah. So Zandy's got glow-eyed. Let's go to the bronze, shall we? How do you feel about the bronze?
I was going to ask the same thing.
I feel like I want to open an establishment like the bronze that is just all things.
An all ages nightclub / bakery / study hall
/ bar /
bar.
music venue.
Yeah, it's all of the things. Like you said, it's the club of requirement.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is there different rooms for each thing?
No, it seems like it's a big warehouse.
It would be like at Casamia's in college where Kim lived. It was a club that anyone could get into. It would be if Casamia's also sold croissants.
Well, technically, Casamia's was a restaurant.
Oh, that's true.
That then
That's true.
put up the chairs and became a club at night.
We had
Pretty
one of
close.
those.
We just didn't study there.
Right. You didn't bring
Right.
the books. We had one of those. I went to Florida State and we had, it was called Club Underground, but during the day it was rallies, like a hamburger stand.
Yeah.
But so then at night you'd be facing the stage and it's Club Underground, but you'd still see like the rallies menu off to the side. Like it was the dumbest thing ever.
So it's starting to make more sense, honestly, now
Yeah.
that we really dig into it.
So we had a bronze. It was called Casamia's in college. So Willow is talking about how much she loves Xander. She at this point still has a big crush on Xander. Kim was very excited to see that Buffy was already wearing Angel's jacket.
I didn't know that Angel came this early.
Mm-hmm.
I was blown away.
Yeah, we've
I have
seen
no
him.
recollection.
Yeah.
At this point, I think we've seen him 4 of the 5 episodes we've already watched. He wasn't in The Witch.
No. No. But what's really interesting, Kim, so like they're not into each other yet. They're still in the like, oh, it's you flirting phase.
Yeah.
So it's even more kind of a big deal that she's wearing his coat because they're not into each other yet.
And how old is he right now?
240. 240.
240,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she
All
is
right. Seems a
16.
little old for her.
Yeah. I'm not sure how age of consent works with vampires.
Right.
Is it
right.
like dog years kind of a thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we should dive too deep into that,
Right,
honestly.
right. But it's also weird because she was sprung on this guy named Owen last episode and was all about going on dates with Owen.
Oh no, I think that's
episode 5.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And
Owen.
then here we are. She's back in the angel.
She's back
jacket.
in the angel jacket because she
So-
realized
Yeah,
Owen wasn't.
That wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. So back to this. So Xander is being a real fucking dick. First of all, he eats Buffy's croissant, which is just what the fuck.
That's a violation. Ketryn gets when we go out, we take the dog for a walk down to our local coffee shop, and she orders a butter croissant. We'll begrudgingly give one bite to the dog, but if I were to just grab that out of her hands and
Can
eat
you
it,
fucking imagine?
I would be murdered.
She would turn into a hyena.
I would. I would be so upset. And he's just being like really not Xandery. Like
In the
he's
worst / best way.
Yeah, he's really hot, which
You
Kim
could-
and I.
immediately turned hot. It was
Yeah.
the magic spell worked from the hyenas. I didn't know that was their
Yeah,
goal.
there was. Yeah,
But
Kim and I both experienced a similar PTSD of boys that drew our attention in our younger years.
yeah,
And it would have been Xander
into
in
the
his
bad
hyena
boys.
phase. Oh God, how did I snatch you? You're so kind.
I think you were just tired.
I'm exhausted. I'll just go with this nice guy.
Oh, you're such a nap. I love you. You're the best. You're such a nap. That's how I'm going to describe you, a nap, but in the best way.
I'll take it.
Okay. So then Xander's pack comes in. This was really interesting. I think maybe Kim said it, where it was like, Xander appears to be pretty immediately the alpha of the group, not Jim anymore. Thank God.
I think it's because Xander was in there breaking up their shit with Lance when the spell happened.
Mhm.
And so he was
Alpha
kind of
vibes.
alphaing them anyway. And so
Yeah.
I bet Jim hated that. He hated that.
Jim.
He's like, I'll fall into the hierarchy of how our species functions, but I don't like it. So he also tells Buffy he like smells her, and
Yeah,
she's like, what the fuck? And he's upset that she took a bath.
right.
He says, you smell different. She says, I bathed. He said, that's okay.
And she's like, he goes, you took a bath. He's like, yeah, I'm known for it.
Right.
It's just a great line.
Yeah. Then we also see the other kids like make fun of a overweight kid, and Xander like laughs at it, and Buffy and Willow were genuinely like, what the fuck?
WTF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Xander's like, what do you want? He's fat. Like,
Ugh, yeah, it was gross.
this Xander is not rushing in to stop bullies from picking on a nerdy
No.
kid.
No.
Ugh, that actually made me really sad, because I also, I don't know if you do this, I think about like the actors that are cast, like that kid was paid
Yeah.
one
I
day
know.
to have no lines to
and
be the fat
quote
kid.
unquote fat kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, and it's like, I don't have a solution for it, you know?
Do you think those certain character actors understand their type and understand where they fit into the industry, and they want to get these gigs early so that someone will see them and then they can do the breakout role down the road, do the indie film where they get to play against type? You know, like is it a long-term strategy of, I'm going to go on TV and play the fat kid 20 times in guest stars so that I can do the indie film where I'm the romantic lead? Is that
No.
the trajectory?
No, I think they're trying to just get work and probably cry about it.
All right, well, that's our show. Fucking bummer.
Sorry.
Ooh.
So, well, let's unbum ourselves. So we go to the library where Giles is getting his absolute ass kicked by Buffy training in the library,
Yes.
which I just have so many questions about how this school is run. Like, why is the librarian holding pads for the new girl?
Like if someone were to walk in and need a book, which
What-
we've only seen happen one other time so far, and it was Owen.
Yeah.
But if the whole place is filled with books, there's a non-zero chance someone could show up looking for a book.
And just be like, what's happening here?
Why are you dressed
Yeah.
like a catcher?
What's
I
going
went
on?
to the library a lot in high
To
school.
train? With the librarian?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. That was my secret life.
Yeah. So we move out of that pretty quickly, but we then see that Principal Flutie, who is really growing on me, he's really trying.
I like
You
this
know?
dude. I said, this is a guy's a better TV principal than Mr. Belding.
Yes.
He outranks Belding for me on TV principals. Thoughts, Kim? Is this 5 words?
I'm just saying sorry about your loss.
Yeah, I know.
Horrible episode to fall in love with the guy.
I know.
yeah,
I know. Yeah. So we
Mr. Belding, by the way, I think we hinted at this in the watch along. You guys used to run into him out here at
It'd be so
karaoke
gross.
bars.
Dimples. He hung out
Yeah.
at this karaoke bar called Dimples, and
Burbank.
yeah,
Dennis Haskins.
and he hit on anything that moved. There was one particular night where he was being like just really specifically predatory towards my cousin, and I remember literally catching his eye and going like this like I was in some sort of teen drama, and it
Where's your
worked. Cousin.
Allison.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got two. So
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Dimples always would give you like complimentary photos
Yeah.
for whatever reason too, like while you're on stage. So it wasn't even like because the other thing I think he's used to like young girls being like, oh my gosh,
Oh my
Mr.
God.
Belding.
Yeah.
So that's why he would go there. But we had been a bunch at that point. We knew he was a creepo.
Yeah.
But like he like came up to us and was like, "Want me to sign your photo?" And we were like, "Oh
No,
sure,
thanks.
whatever." And he's like, "I'm going to sign your boob like on the
Ugh.
photo." And I was like, "Ew,
He's so gross.
you're an old gross man."
Yeah.
My only
It's
Mr.
very
Belding
gross.
story was I used to
When he
work
tried to sign your boobs.
No, he signed my wiener. No, I used to work at the Viper Room, and it's a nightclub in West Hollywood. It used to be owned by Johnny Depp, but before I worked there, and I produced. We did a pole dancing karaoke competition show where we would pair a karaoke singer with a pole dancer, and they would perform a stunt. And there was always a theme, and it was a lot of fun. I would get a lot of my singer friends to come in and enter it to try and win some money, and we wanted like celebrity judges. And so we get sometimes porn stars or like radio hosts, but we reached out to Dennis Haskins. We're like, this would be fucking funny. Mr. Belding's here. And after every act, they get a microphone, they get to talk about the thing. And he strung us along for a bit. And then he said, no, I don't think I'm going to do it. We're going to pay him $500 to come out. Then night of the show, he fucking shows up and just wants to be in the audience. Like he wants to be there, but he doesn't want $500 to be there.
He's a creep. He
What
just
a
heard that-
weirdo.
He just heard pole dancers and he's like, I'm in.
He was
Ew.
like karaoke and pole dancers.
I'm
He's
in.
like,
there.
he's like, I do my creeping pro bono.
Right. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of boobs to sign there. I'm showing up.
Ugh.
That's my Belding story.
Yeah. So our not Belding principal, Mr. Flutie, has decided to try to get school spirit up and running by adopting an adorable
cutest baby pig.
little piggy, and he's put him in a little costume, so he's a razorback. He's a very fierce razorback.
So scary.
Oh my gosh! And his name is Herbert. May we have a pig, please?
Of course.
Herbert.
You can have anything you want.
Herbert the piggy.
To go with our 3 cats and a dog.
Yeah,
We want chickens as well.
and running ducks.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
This is new. I've not heard we want ducks.
we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Remember when I used to name all my fish Henry?
Yeah,
Reminds me of Herbert.
Herbert and Henry.
You named all your fish Henry? Sorry,
Well,
can we
they
go back?
died a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh, you didn't have like an aquarium full of fish
No,
named
yeah,
Henry?
they just,
You just
was like
replaced
Henry
it.
1 and then
Okay.
Henry 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have 7 fish. They're all named
Yeah.
Henry.
So just that's Henry.
That's
Henry. And there was Henry 2, Henry as well, Henry also.
Yeah.
But we see the important part is that Buffy catches the pig because the pig got away. Buffy
on the
catches the
loose.
pig, and she's bringing it back to its cage, and it's a very docile pig. It loves being held. It's very like oink
So
oink. I
sweet.
love this. But then when fucking Xander walks by very hotly,
Yes.
Keep it in your respective pants.
we're
ladies.
trying. The pig starts squealing like it's scared.
I think it's real. This is like what Ethel does. Sometimes if I hold her too long and I go to put her down, she starts like swimming in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's how you're going to wiggle out of my hands and fall. That's what Herbert does. He starts swimming because he doesn't want to be anywhere near.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. Speaking of, I don't know if anyone's going to care about this, but there's another Buffy podcast from the UK called Fresh Blood. And we've kind of become friends with them on social media. And there's a clip that they have out where the girl is like, and I'm sorry, I don't remember their names. That's terrible. There's a girl and a guy. The girl is like, yeah, I thought it was weird because they're the Razorbacks, but then they have a picture of a pig as their mascot. And I thought, well, the Razorback is a shark. So why do they have a pig? And then I looked it up and I was completely wrong.
Oh.
So she thought
What did she? A razorback. What did
she
she
just thought it was
think?
the name of a shark.
But I
And
wonder.
she's like, why did they choose a pig as their mascot? She had all kinds of questions. But I just
There are some crazy mascots out here. The fucking banana slugs. There's a college where the mascot is the banana slug.
Why?
I don't know.
When we went to my friend Dylan's bachelor party in Portland, we went to a collegiate minor league baseball game, and their team was called the Portland Pickles.
The pickles. Oh, now I'm really in the mood for pickles. All right, focus.
Yeah.
All right, so the pig doesn't like Xander. That's a clue.
Right.
So now
Well, we don't need clues because we saw the eyes glow. Like we already know what
Yeah.
happened.
Columbuff needs clues.
I think this
Columbuff.
one of the things this show gets backwards is dramatic irony. Like when we know more than the characters, you don't need to string us along quite so much. If
Mhm.
we didn't know what was happening, then we could be putting it together the same as them. So I feel like, yeah, sometimes we're spinning our wheels waiting for Buffy to catch up to shit we already know.
Fair.
But-
Dodgeball isn't going well either. It's bad. It's going poorly, and it's a terrible gym teacher. I don't know how Sunnydale is a town. They have no police. They don't investigate crimes. The teachers are terrible.
You hated the driver's ed teacher.
I hated the driver's ed teacher. None of them are doing their jobs. Frankly, Giles is not really doing his job either.
I've seen him lend a book in the entire show.
It's a problem. No wonder the Hellmouth is here.
The weirdest thing about this scene for me, though, is that everyone's in a variation of school colors for gym clothes. And then Willow is in like a karate gi. Like she's wearing like samurai pajamas to gym class.
Did you have to wear a special gym clothes?
Not that I recall.
Well, wait. You didn't have a uniform.
Well, in elementary school, I had uniforms. So
Right.
so we had gym clothes.
But then
but in public high school,
you didn't have to wear special clothes?
I don't recall.
And they don't have a uniform for
it's just
school,
the colors.
But
you
I'm
just
saying
have to wear the colors.
Well, some of it says Sunnydale on it. Like they probably it's all weird. But why is she dressed like a karate master?
She's trying some stuff out. Okay.
She's still on a journey with her wardrobe.
But it turns into like a really fucked up game of dodgeball because the hyenas are taking everyone out, but really aggressively. And Xander hits Willow
really hard.
and the face that she gives him like genuinely broke my heart.
And then the face that he gives her genuinely gave me a vagina.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and argue here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say every game of dodgeball is a fucked up game of dodgeball. I hated dodgeball.
Really?
Yeah, it's bullying with a score count. Like you get rewarded for being an asshole in dodgeball.
Sounds like somebody wasn't very good at dodgeball.
I'm not saying which side of that equation I was on. But let's say the sound of that pong, that kind of echoey, hollow sound those rubber balls make
familiar
as
with
they
that sound?
crush your skull.
Yeah.
I still hear it in my dreams.
So sorry.
I was not into dodgeball. Were you like some dodgeball whiz kid?
I don't know. I just know it didn't scar me as much as it did you.
Dodgeball's a shitty.
Were you
game.
also picked last for the team? Oof.
Ooh.
There were teams. I didn't.
Yeah, one side, the other side.
I feel like we played every man for himself.
Oh, well, that's crazy.
Maybe.
Did you go to Sunnydale? What is happening? Okay, so it's bad. And then they all turn on Lance, who is
Poor
on
Lance
the hyenas
again.
team. He's on the hyenas team, and they turn around and they all peg him.
Yeah.
Not
What?
peg him.
Bullies.
You saw a different. You saw the director's cut.
Yeah.
There was no pegging in mine. Other than the zebras, there was no pegging.
Right. But Buffy comes and saves Lance.
Well, not really. They get him.
Well, they get him, but they stop because
Right.
Buffy is
She
like,
intervenes.
motherfucker.
And my thought was there's 5 of them, 1 of her. They don't turn on Buffy because I think they are still afraid of her. You said
Alpha vibes.
Yeah, she's still alphaing them.
Animal instincts.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not picking a fight here that we might lose.
So after dodgeball, I don't even want to talk about this one. Willow is waiting for Xander, and she confronts him for just like being mean. And he was already like really mean to her when she was trying to tutor him for geometry.
Right.
And so he comes over and he says he's dropping geometry.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first he makes it sound like he might be, my feelings for you have changed. And she's like, is he going to say that he loves me? And I was like, Willow, read the room. I don't think that's where this is going.
He just dodgeballed you. He's not confessing his.
And he says, I'm dropping geometry, which means I won't have to look at your pasty face again.
And then he does the biggest Joker laugh and his little hyena buddies.
Oh, yeah. They all hyena.
Like I can't do it.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Should we all do our best hyena?
Yeah,
laugh?
let's do it. That's pretty good.
Well, that was very cartoony.
Oh, thank you.
You got one?
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
That was good.
I think we're in the same cartoon.
All right. And now
Yeah.
here, would you give it a real go here?
Oh, you're in a
Oh,
Batman
terrifying.
cartoon.
Yeah. So,
You were giving Joker
okay.
for sure. Yeah. So then Buffy comes up and is like, hey, Xander, you're a bitch. And he laughs and it's upsetting. So now we cut to they're looking for food and they smell dogs out on the quad and they go and steal a hot dog from our computer lab friend.
What's going on? That guy.
Yeah.
But then the hot dog was too cooked.
They said it's overdone, which I don't think you can do with a hot dog.
No.
And also, this is clearly an uncooked hot dog. This
Yeah,
is
it
a
was
pale
disgusting-
beige
wet
tube.
hot dog.
fresh out of
Yeah.
the package.
Whoa, it's overdone.
So they didn't like it, and then Jim steps on their lunch trays because he's the worst. And we get a really hot music video of Xander and the pack walking around school.
Yeah,
after
they're
this.
doing Reservoir Hyenas.
Yeah.
Slow walk.
It went on a little too long for me. I was like, do we need a full music video?
Yeah, this felt like Baywatch, where Baywatch was a show that had 20 minutes of content, and they made it an hour by putting 4 music videos in the middle of the show. That's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
I was like, you're just walking from like one place to the other. We don't need
Play
a
the
full...
entire song.
I do feel like
A
they were.
lap dance doesn't play this much of a song as this scene did.
It's fair. How long is a lap dance? They don't play a whole song?
No, they use. If you're at a generous place, they'll play for 2 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, you get about 90 seconds of a song.
So no one's
But-
requesting like American Pie
Well,
so
it
that
doesn't
they can
matter
have
what you
a
request because they're only going to play 90 seconds of it.
American Pie.
No lap dance has gotten to the bridge of a song. That's
Right,
all I'm saying.
okay,
You
got
get, You
it.
get intro, verse, chorus, verse, and then all right, coming to the stage, it's Amber. Like that's all that happens.
You're so good at that voice.
Well, I was a strip club DJ.
I
actually did that as a job.
I know.
I used to make up shit too. I would like give fake intros to the girls because it was boring and no one listens to the DJ. Anyway.
Yeah.
So like, this next dancer is the voice of Brady the Bear on the cartoon Up a Tree. Let's give it up for Celeste.
That's fun.
That is fun. Yeah. So finally Buffy is like, Giles, something is up. And Giles is like, Xander's being a dick. Sounds like he's a 16-year-old boy. And this, okay, Kim, I have a theory that Ripper, who is Rupert Giles' younger self when he was like a hot, rebellious kid, appears for mere seconds in every episode where it's like he's this stuffy library guy, but every so often the Ripper comes out and you can see it.
My theory prior to a couple weeks ago was no one making the show, including the actor, had any concept that he used to be Ripper, that's something that came up much later in the show and they retrofitted it in. She's convinced they were dropping little Ripper hints throughout, but I realized I was being something of a stick in the mud by fighting this every time it came up.
Yeah.
So I've decided to embrace Ripper. So if she's got Ripper thoughts, I'm here for that.
Okay. Ripper,
So she
when
thinks
he
this was-
says he's just being a shitty teenage boy, testosterone turns all men into morons.
Great fucking line.
I feel like that is coming from a place of experience. Like his Ripper testosterone turned him into a moron when he was, trying to fuck down.
But so the tale of Ripper doesn't come till much later.
Right.
Yeah, we learned that he, in his past, he had a
Interesting.
roguish phase.
But I think he has moments where like it peeks through
He was
every
Rupert.
once in a while.
I bet they had that in like the character
Bio.
book.
Yeah.
Maybe not fully
The
fleshed
Bible.
out,
Yeah.
but just like that he
Was a kid at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get a great line where he is skeptical of the hyenas having possessed the kids, which is Buffy's theory, which is stupid because what happened last week? Oh, Xander was seduced by a praying mantis biology teacher. So like, I don't know why kids being possessed by hyenas is
somehow a step too far.
Yeah.
yeah, like you're a trainer for a vampire slayer, Giles, but hyena possession, drawing the
It's a
line.
little far-fetched. We're not
You're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
going there.
Buffy.
Insane. So Willow then runs in to be like, the pig was eaten.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either. And
They weren't feeling the hot dog, so they went looking for other
Pork.
snacks. And
such a bummer. So, but apparently it's known that these kids ate the pig, which is correct. Like, why were they not immediately arrested? Instead, it's just like detention. Probably.
Go to the principal's
You-
office. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You ripped a live animal apart with your teeth.
And
Go to the
consumed
principal's
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna call your parents.
Yeah,
Like-
like it's not
Yeah.
good.
We need someone else to be called for this situation.
Yeah. And Flutie says, you're going to have so much detention. Your grandkids will be staying after school since you ripped apart an innocent animal and ate it. That's so upsetting.
Right. The punishment does not fit the crime.
No.
Yeah. And we're back in the library now. Willow brings up a good point. She says, why couldn't Xander have been possessed by a puppy or some ducks?
Yeah.
And it makes me think, what animal would each of us want to be possessed by? Kim's so mad that I asked this question. I didn't tell her I was going to ask it. She has to like kind of pick a favorite. She's so upset about it. She's so pissed.
I'm going to say
No, I have an
tiger
answer.
Okay.
because they sleep like 20 hours a day. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And are really turned on by J-Lo's perfume.
Yeah.
Which was a story we told in some episode. That's
What about you, Kim?
interesting.
Who you got?
I would be a sea otter or a dolphin just because they seem very happy and live like joyful lives.
Aw.
You are a sea otter. You
Well, that's my favorite.
are
animal.
a sea otter. Isn't she just like a cute little sea otter?
So cute. And they have couples and they just put rocks in their bellies. They're
Yeah.
just like, they just are happy.
Oh my god! And they're always playing with their little rocks, like
Which
you.
I did too.
Cool. Rock
Kim's
book.
and I. That's funny. I was actually gonna go with I think like cats seem to have like a really cool vibe. Like I think
Especially your cats.
yeah, but I also think that they just like seem to have a sense of things that are not of this plane of existence. Like they just seem tapped into something in a way that I feel like being possessed by their spirit would be like being on like the best mushrooms ever. Like you're just like seeing things differently. So that's what
Fair,
I would go
fair.
with. So we also learned that Giles should have known this. He should have remembered about the primals, which are a tribe in Africa where they do worship animals. They think that the animal state is holy. So I guess I'm joining the primals also.
Right, but I gotta call the writers out here. Giles is so in denial. Animal possession? Well, that's absurd. Xander's not a hyena. That's crazy. Stop with your nonsense. And then the next scene, he's like, "Oh yeah, I should have remembered that." And now he gives a TED talk about it, like he's a fucking expert. Like, it was shitty writing. That was a terrible plot device.
Well, wait a minute, because you know I love to do this. Let's say Anthony Head also was like, "This is stupid. Why?" But you have to justify it as the actor. I'm gonna say that he was so fixated on how ridiculous it is for Buffy to say, Xander's being kind of mean. This 16-year-old boy that really wants to feel accepted is like being kind of mean and hanging out with the popular kids. Maybe he's possessed. And Giles is like, that is a weird first conclusion to jump to because we are in high school and 16-year-old boys suck.
But we do live in a world where a praying mantis tried to fuck Xander 2 weeks ago.
But he hadn't seen Xander's behavior. So
but I'm saying it's not absurd. Here's how I would have fixed that line. Instead of going, "Oh yes, I should have remembered that, and now I'm an expert," he goes, "I followed up on that thing Buffy said, and I found this in a book.
Oh,
and now I'm going to share it with you."
Good point.
So
way to go.
That's all.
Fixed. So Buffy goes and finds the pig cage that's been like ripped apart.
No blood, though.
No blood.
to be seen.
Not a drop. And here's the thing.
She even steps on a bone, like a pig bone, and there's no blood anywhere.
I do think that they could like suck the blood off the bone, but later on when we see them fully clean, like glistening clean.
I need a scene of them licking the blood off of each other to even kind of buy this.
Yeah, and off the floor.
Yeah, there's no.
Is there any blood in Buffy?
Not a. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, when have we seen blood so far?
First one I thought of was Angel got his arm scratched by Forkman.
Right, the Forkman got him, and then the Kool-Aid Mouth gets youth pastor Luke or whatever his name is to like drink.
I guess we do see some blood when people are
blood,
when people are bitten, but like I think we are to assume that the blood's being real sucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a ton of blood in Buffy.
It's
I
weird.
guess that's
At least in these early seasons, yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
This is a program for children. We're not gonna spend buckets
Yeah.
of blood.
No
in every
blood,
episode.
Yeah.
just tearing animals and humans
Yeah.
apart with your bare teeth and then eating them.
Exactly. Yeah.
No
Cannibalism,
blood
fine.
though. It's for the kids.
No blood. So she's looking at the pig cage and Xander appears, and Kim and I will need to talk about this scene in therapy.
Yeah.
And
So much bad messaging.
so much bad messaging. And
Yeah.
listen, Kim and I heard all the messages and we said, I hear you, but do you see
what I see? Are you not watching
Yeah.
the TV?
Yeah.
I think there's a chicken and egg thing here. It's like, did they write that in because they knew girls would respond, or did they hypnotize girls into believing this? Like, did the message start with them, or are they just responding to what you guys?
I don't know.
Response.
What I felt pretty primal. It felt pretty instinctual. Didn't feel planted.
I mean, I don't think Buffy put this into our brain. This has been a long-held story
Sure,
Yeah.
for decades.
But
Think of Greece.
Some may say millennium.
Greece.
Greece. Well, for a second, I thought you were talking about like the country of Greece.
Yeah, all the old plays.
Yeah.
Euripides was writing about this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not decades, centuries.
Centuries, millennia, even. Greece was really bad messaging. Greece was
Really bad.
horrible messaging. Because at least in this, we come around
Yeah.
to it. In Greece, it's like, no. Hyenas, you should be a hyena. So Xander attacks her hotly. And she
No, I've got to draw the line here.
Okay.
And I got to stake this out because no one else is going to. You guys are
Okay.
just going to turn this into Xander fanfic.
yeah, I do think you should take
Yeah. So
you should take this.
she jumps on top of him. Is like, yo, you're a hyena. And he's like, oh, I've been waiting for you to jump my bones. He's full of all these come-ons.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
girls are over here melting.
The more I scare you, the better you smell.
Yeah, he's laying all the lines out, but he's like, oh, let's stop pretending you're not attracted to me. I know what you really want. It's all date rapey. It's
It's not good. I don't stand by it.
It's all the wrong stuff. And then after this scene, well, I guess I'll wait till you get there. But yeah, it's played for. It's not given the weight that this actual situation is given.
Yeah.
Like, or requires.
And I thought about it after. Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So Principal Flutie is trying to discipline these hyenas in his office. And first of all, Jim was such a smarmy fuck. It gave me like real PTSD. Like I was like, you get in my fucking office, you little shit.
But I liked his acting better as smarmy. It's when he's trying to be nice guy, dad guy, that I'm like, this doesn't fit you. I don't know what
No.
that says. I don't know what that says about his character
Right.
as a person.
Right? Yeah.
Macaulay Jim. But
yeah, that's true. So instead they attack him and they eat him
Him being Flutie.
the
Flutie.
principal.
right next to a
And I
picture
was
of
like,
himself.
wait.
He's got a picture of just himself in a frame on his desk, but not facing him, facing out.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give Kim a picture of herself for Christmas one year. That's just herself.
I was blown away though that I was like, so wait,
He's gone.
the principal's gone?
They
The
just killed him.
principal's dead?
He's been consumed. Yeah. He's
Whoa.
being currently digested.
That's wild.
Show for kids.
wild.
Yeah.
And the next time we see these hyenas, again, not a drop of blood on them. They're napping in the woods or in the bushes somewhere. And did they eat him with straws? Like, I don't understand how this.
They put him in a blender.
Clearly wore a bib.
Yep.
You know, they did.
A hazmat suit.
It's strange.
Yeah.
It would have been fun to slop those kids up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, luckily, here's what's lucky. Buffy had already incapacitated Xander, so he was being dragged into the library cage, and he did not participate in eating Principal Flutie. I don't know that Xander
Thank
would have gotten
goodness.
past that.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we could have redeemed him after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
Eating the pig is already pushing
too
it.
much for me. Yeah. So Giles then breaks the news to them, being like, so the principal was eaten. Again, no police officers anywhere. No ambulance. Nothing. The principal was just consumed, and the bones are just. Oh no, I guess it's the pig bones, but still, like it's just.
He says the prevailing theory is some wild dogs got into his office somehow, and it's like, so no need to involve the authorities. It's just an act of God. It's just Mother Nature taking out the trash.
Yeah,
like,
it's all good. Yeah, like this is a terribly run town. I honestly used to think that like the Hellmouth was there, and then oops, this town was built on top of it. But now when I see the infrastructure of this town, I'm like, I think the demons were like, we're putting the Hellmouth right here.
Not a person to stop us.
Yeah. So they lock him in, and they realize that they need to have like another human to transfer the hyena spirits into. I guess they can't put them back into the hyenas, I guess is what they figure out.
Yeah, it's all murky to me. It's sort of like the science on Star Trek. Like they just start talking, and I just kind of glaze over.
So that was their plan? Who were they going to put it into?
Well, they didn't know, but that's also why they were like, we need to go talk to that zookeeper, because the zookeeper seemed to like have information about the primals. So that's why Buffy and Giles are like, we'll go talk to
I think it's the Maasai.
The Maasai. Okay.
Yeah.
Are going to go talk to
Maasai something.
Yeah.
But I thought it was weird that the decision was, okay, so we got Hyena Boy.
Maasai is the tribe. Primals are people who
Like the
spiritually
cults.
worship animals. That's what it is. Yeah. Thank you, Kim.
But yeah, so we've got Hyena Boy in the cage and Xander, and they need to go talk to a nerd. So they go, all right, Buffy with super strength and Giles will go talk to the nerd, and we're going to leave 85-pound Willow here with carpal tunnel from her computer mouse hand to fight the Hyena Boy should he get up to some shit.
Right. But first we have to see what the pack is up to right now, and they are asleep on the ground, bloodless, about to eat a baby.
Yes.
Show for kids.
Yeah. Show for kids. And they, spoiler alert, they didn't eat the baby, but like they wanted us to think they were about to eat a baby.
If they weren't just full and happy, like sleepy happy because they just ate a full human man, they would have eaten that baby 100%.
Yeah, and I think that's a reasonable, based on what we've seen. Yeah, I fully believe they would eat a baby.
Yeah. So they just go back to sleep because they were too full, luckily.
Yeah.
It's like how I feel when like dessert comes out after Thanksgiving, where I kind of like perk up and I'm like, and I go back to sleep.
There'll be another baby.
So then Xander wakes up in the cage and he's really putting the tricks and moves. We were really worried about Willow.
Who knew one of the powers of a hyena man was gaslighting?
Yeah.
That's what was happening. And we really, Kim and I were worried. We really thought Willow was going to fall for it because we sure would have.
Here's the keys.
I fully thought she was tricked.
Yeah.
You guys have been like, here's the keys. Hold these while I take my underwear off.
Yeah. It's so Willow's a stronger woman than we.
She was tricking him back.
Yeah. Cause she got real close and he thought that he had her. And then she was like, now I know you're still hyena. Duh. So Buffy and Giles are talking to the Wrangler and they're about to nerd out about it. But one thing that the zookeeper does seem to latch on to was a piece of information that Giles found where it was like the only way for the possession to work is if you engage it with a predatory act first. Like the predatory act is like the key that unlocks the door. And the Wrangler seems to be like, oh, where did you hear that? Like he's very, a light bulb goes off for him.
And unfortunately, the predatory act of Xander trying to assault Buffy in the pig room does not count.
Well, because you still have to have the symbol there.
No, I'm just saying it's the most predatory act in the episode.
I see.
And unfortunately, that one
did not.
You got to do it in the
circle
picture of the hyena that they drew on the ground.
Yeah, so when they were trying to throw Lance over the balcony, that was the act. Okay. And
she's having a conversation with herself.
I was having a whole conversation with myself. So Willow is still in the library and then we just hear Willow. Willow. And it's stupid Jim. He's here and he busts in the window and Willow runs away and they break their pack leader out. Pack leader? Leader of the pack, I guess.
The
yeah.
leader of the pack.
They break Xander out and now it's a big chase through the school. And Willow goes to hide. She hides under a desk and we were all like, girl, they can smell you. They can smell you. They can sniff you out. And then they didn't seem to. Just kidding. Xander was hiding behind a door. It was a pretty good trick.
It was.
I was into it.
And she's doomed. But fortunately, Buffy shows up with a fire hydrant.
Just in time.
Yeah.
Clangs
a fire hydrant.
Yeah, she has a
fire extinguisher.
Not a fire hydrant.
She ripped
grabbed
that
it out of the
ground. She was trying to entice these dogs to pee on it.
Fire extinguisher. Yeah. So she gets the blonde. There's one of the members of the pack that I don't think has any lines. This blonde woman.
Poor girl.
Who's just there to kind of snivel and snarl, and then she gets hit in the face with a fire hydrant. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So Buffy tells them, like, we got to lead them to the zoo, to the symbol so that we can.
Yeah. Well, she fights them off and they go somewhere and they're like, I got to go get them. And Giles is like, one of them is nearly as strong as you, but all five of them. And what does Columbuff say?
What does Columbuff say?
She goes, well, they're getting stupider.
Oh, right. They're getting stupider. Right. So now we go hit up a random family and Kim goes, am I supposed to know these people? Just
I didn't know if those were people that we knew.
It was confusing.
We get 2 minutes of exposition. Like I said, it's an episode of the Goldbergs.
Because they were having a full-on conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently dad was looking at some lady talking about, and she's
Joey, the little kid, doesn't chew his food. It's a whole thing. They have a whole show going on.
We get more backstory on them than we get on most of our main characters.
Truly. Yeah. So we then hear, so we remember that in the lore of hyenas, once they hear the name of a human, they call that name to draw them out. So they heard the mom say the little boy's name was Joey. And so they're like, Joey. And then they fucking attack the minivan in a way that I was like, this would be really scary. Like if this happened.
It was real scary because he couldn't find his keys. Because I was like, drive off.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they fight about. He's the fucking idiot dad from Berenstain Bears who can't do anything right.
Right.
You forgot the keys.
Yeah. What? I'm trying to think, like, what do I have? I have in my car, like, one of those things that is meant to slice your seatbelt if you need it to, and also has like a really hard point on it to break your window. I'm like, would I just like,
it's a good weapon.
Dink, right in the head? Maybe.
If they were made of glass, I think you'd be home free. I don't know that it's going to work on hyena people.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know if it would hurt real bad.
You whack him in the hand and stop it.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
Really bad.
I mean, it's no fire hydrant. But.
No. No fire hydrant. So Buffy's there and she does a great superhero pose on top of that minivan.
Yes.
And leads them to the zoo. Giles and Willow make it to the zoo first. And Giles is in there with the hyena wrangler, and he is in full costume for the show. 5 minutes to curtain. Here we go.
He's got his full face paint makeup on.
Yeah, he's given Braveheart.
Yep.
Blue and white.
Braveheart.
Yep. And Giles puts it together that this whole time he was trying to be possessed by the hyenas, but didn't realize that the predatory act was the secret key.
By bullying Lance, the kids got the hyena powers.
So Giles puts it together and then says, oh, how terribly frustrating for you that a bunch of school children could accomplish what you could not.
Burn.
And then Giles is knocked out. We're keeping a tally of how many times Giles is knocked out. He definitely has some serious head trauma. He's knocked out almost every episode.
Yeah, he's got CTE for sure.
Giles.
Yeah. And so he's knocked out. Willow then comes in and is willingly tied up. Poor thing. She's so confused.
She goes, where's Giles? And this guy starts to hurt, but she just puts her hands out and lets him, like the most compliant kidnap victim I've ever seen.
Yeah.
She's like, here, let me hold it. She's helping him tie the knot practically.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I guess you're holding a knife to my throat as like the pretend predatory act, right?" And Zoo Wrangler is like, something like that.
So trusting.
So just as Buffy runs in, Willow figures it out and says, "Buffy, it's a trap." All the hyena people come in. Wrangler speaks the words and that he had to speak, and the predatory act of whatever is fucking happening. I mean, the whole scene is predatory act, I guess. And they're depossessed.
The eyes glow and they go into his glowy eyes.
Xander comes to, and the first thing he does is save Willow, which is so he's back.
We love nice guy Xander.
I love nice guy
The
Xander.
superior Xander.
Yeah, even when he's being a 16-year-old boy, he has these moments where we go, there's his heart.
Mm-hmm.
There's our guy. He just is insecure. He's got a lot of insecurities. So the pack runs away. Not as the pack anymore. I mean, now they're just shitty kids again.
Now they're just murderers.
Yeah, truly.
They are.
They're fully murderers.
Like-
They're fully murderers. And probably fine with it. Because truly, they were some big dicks beforehand.
Yeah. They were huge assholes.
They
And
were
if
probably like,
Sunnydale had-
remember when we were hyenas, you guys?
If Sunnydale had police, these people would clearly be facing charges. As it stands, they just go home.
Yeah. Oh, well. And Buffy then fights the Zoo Wrangler and throws him into the hyena pit, and he's eaten. Yay!
Hooray! Ding, ding,
Goodbye.
ding, ding. And now this cute hyena all fed and their tummies are awful.
Because I don't like, I feel like this paints like a really broad brush about hyenas, and I don't think that's fair.
Hyenas need new PR because you think about what else do we know about hyenas?
Lion King.
Lion King, this, and that they have an annoying laugh. Like we got to really start working on that
And
image.
apparently Noah's Ark.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Noah left them off the Ark.
God.
If Noah left them off the ark,
According
how do
to
we
the
have them?
show,
That's true. How do we have them?
it doesn't track, you guys.
The first thing in the Bible that doesn't track.
Or that shows why they're evil. Because they still live.
They just treaded water the entire flood.
Yeah.
Or they
Laughing
weren't
away.
evil, but now they're just super
Now they're
pissed.
bad.
They're so pissed now.
It's their
Yeah, they were
origin
actually
story.
really nice before. It is interesting that people do consider them like a combination of cat and dog.
I've never thought of that once.
I haven't yet heard that.
It's not the first time I've heard that,
Weird.
actually. Yeah. Foxes are also sort of this
Live in the
middle of a cat and a dog. So Giles wakes up.
Well, did I miss anything?
That was not Ripper. That guy, that was Rupert Giles.
Again,
not Ripper.
seems to be the two watchers we know at this point. Donald Sutherland as Merrick in the movie and Giles. If you so much as graze one molecule of them, they're out. That's it. Physical fight, they're done.
Yeah. All right. So things have calmed down. We're back at school. They got to find a new principal, which good luck.
I just can't get over that.
Kim said during our watch along, she's like, they're not going to fill the job because they can't. They're just going to leave the guy's picture on the desk.
And Xander's really upset. Like, Xander is so bummed, and he knows that he ate a pig, and he's really upset about it.
But he
then
doesn't remember it himself. They're telling him.
Yeah, they're telling him. And he's so sweet because he's like, nobody messes with my Willow. Like, he's fully back. It's so cute. And then he's like, did I do anything else embarrassing or terrifying
Right.
and a crime? And they're like, nah, man. Now this really bothers you. I can track it.
Well, I can track it. I think it's not given the weight it deserves. Here's what I'll say. Buffy's moral code is if you're possessed, and we're going to see this throughout the show, if you're possessed, you're not responsible for your actions. So I don't hold you accountable for things you do. If you're in your angelus form, Angel doesn't owe any responsibility for that. This here, it's sort of like Bucky in the Avengers when he's brainwashed and an assassin. The good guys are like, well, that wasn't him. He was brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
But Bucky at least remembers everything he did and lives with the trauma of it. So I think we understand Buffy's, but at the part where because when she puts Xander in the cage, she says the words felony sexual assault.
Right.
For what he tried to do to her. Now she felt safely she could overpower him, whatever. It doesn't change what he was attempting to do. But then when they're like, oh no, you didn't do anything, and they just kind of laugh it off, it feels like
you just wish there was a little bit more gravitas in that very last moment.
Yeah, just to acknowledge, like, let her be. Wow, do I want to open this can of worms?
As opposed to like, nah, man.
Nah, you're good. Don't worry about
okay,
it.
I can see.
So that was my issue.
Yeah.
That because then the very next thing that happens is the same beat.
Yeah, where Giles comes up and says, I haven't read anything in my books about memory loss after a transpossession. And Xander says, asks if he told them. He did not. He said, your secret dies with me. And then he says, kill me, stuff me, mount me, and walks off truly embarrassed and ashamed.
Yes, but then Giles just kind of goes, huh, and kind of smirks. Oh, boys will be boys. Like it was not given the weight. He's like,
again, that was the time.
What you did was fucked up, but I'm not going to ruin your life by telling them what you did.
Yeah.
Giles is the keeper of secrets, but instead he feels like, oh, don't worry about it, homie. We good.
Again, I think this is indicative of the time and the messaging.
Very good point.
Yeah, that we all.
I found it disturbing.
Yeah. Superlatives.
All right, let's get to a meeting of the yearbook committee. This is fun. We're going to have 3 for every category. We'll start with you, Kim. Who's your most likely?
Most likely to be homecoming king, but only while possessed by a hyena.
Xander.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Most likely to try and become possessed by an animal, me. I give zookeeper vibes. Like, it wouldn't be hyenas, but I can see myself being real pissed if a bunch of high schoolers stole my possession.
I've got, based on the beat we just talked about, most likely to be blackmailed by Giles, Xander.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, who you got for best dressed, Kim?
Well, my fave outfit, I couldn't decide. I had a lot of options. I liked Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
I went with that too, actually.
Oh,
Even though I
really?
made fun of it during the
fun of
watch
it.
along, but it was the best outfit in the show.
Yeah.
And then I liked the 2 very 90s kind of clueless outfits that happened. And one was Willow with like her orange sweater and plaid skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very end with Buffy, and she had like a little like baby tee hat and pink skirt on.
I knew you were going to choose the one with the beanie. I knew. I was like, she's going to choose the hat. Kim can wear a hat like nobody's business.
Love a hat.
Yeah. My best outfit was the orange sweater and the pony. She did this half ponytail, but like it was done in a really cool way. I thought Willow just looked really intentional and great in that orange sweater. And the choker, I just think she looked great. Yeah.
Who'd you have for worst dressed?
Also a tie between the hyena girl who never spoke when they walked into the club, and she had that white
swirly situation
shirt on.
Blot.
Yeah, that was real bad. It only appeared for a mere seconds, but it was that bad. And then khaki mom, was bad too.
That was rough. Yeah, that was rough.
Khakis and pale pink sweater. Oof.
Yeah. My worst outfit was actually also Willow. I did not like the sort of brown and blue striped sweater with like a baby pink hoodie and then like a completely different pattern skirt at the zoo.
Outfit,
yeah, I didn't like that.
I also had Willow, her samurai pajamas she wears in gym class. It was so
Those really bummed
weird.
you out.
It was
really bummed you
She was
out.
the only person dressed like that.
Yeah.
For a reason.
What do we got next?
Our best line. Who you got?
Wait, can we do worst line first?
Yeah,
I
of
like
course.
the best line better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Worst line, to be honest, a lot of the worst lines could be best lines at the same. Like I had a hard time being
yeah.
There was a lot of it was so bad it was good. In this, to be fair, but I didn't. It really fell flat when Buffy does her super woman pose on the car when they're all being attacked, and she's like, "Didn't your mom teach you? Don't play with your food."
That was rough. Yeah, that wasn't that didn't land. Yeah,
so bad.
My worst line was anything Jim said just didn't land for me. Like I just didn't. Anytime he spoke, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I talked about this when we went over it in the episode, but for me, the worst line was Giles coming in. I should have remembered that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It wasn't like corny, but it was like terribly written. It was a lazy line. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Best line, what you got?
Okay. Best line. I don't actually even know the words because I like wasn't fully getting it while we were watching, but it was something about being on camera. Whoopsh. That was my fave by far.
That was so upsetting.
That was by Jim.
Oh, Jim.
My fave line was by Jim.
But your fave line you also hated a lot.
Yeah,
as well.
no, I hated it so much that I loved it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Best line. I like the use of citing another TV show. Stop trying to Scully me. And I think I'm gonna start using that when you're being too fucking logical and robotic. I'm gonna be like, Scully, can you stop, please? Mulder's trying to tell you about something magical.
Yes.
Okay.
My best line, Giles. So he got best and worst for me. Testosterone is a great equalizer. It turns all men into morons.
Yeah.
It just when Giles is fucking profound.
Who said that?
Ripper said
that. Ripper said
that. You see how I'm embracing it?
Thank you.
All right. So, then did you have a best move?
Yeah. I actually thought Xander's little tricky trick where he's like, oh, I'm leaving the room. Clump, 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 clump. Ka-chunk. But that was a door shutting. Ka-chunk didn't really work. But then he's there.
You know, back to one, everybody.
Sorry.
So what'd you have for best move?
When Willow is hiding under the desk and the pack is looking for her, sniffing around, and then he like pretends to leave and shuts the door. Yes. And then Willow pops up because he thinks he's gone, but he's like, just kidding. I'm still here. I thought that was a good move.
Great move. I liked when she kicked the guy off the top of the minivan and then did her Wonder Woman pose.
Oh, yeah, that was nice. And then had a terrible line.
And then, yeah.
I didn't have a best move. I was very happy when she threw the guy into the hyenas.
Oh, yeah.
He cheered.
I'll take that.
That was a great move.
I'll give that one.
Because she used her surroundings, which I like. And also was like, I didn't kill him.
Right.
Facts.
Those hyenas did. Because she
unlike
like
you,
killing,
Jim.
Right?
Murderer.
Liked
All right,
it.
so that was our episode.
Kim, did you like it? Will you come back sometime?
Of course. Yay! Yeah, this was really fun. Thank
cool.
you so much for having me.
Yeah.
So please check out our other show, Kim and Ket Stay Alive Maybe, where these two try and survive horror movies. Comes out every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want to find them on social media, they're at KKSAM Podcast on all the things.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to follow this show, we're at Major Slayage Pod on all the things. We're out every Monday right here on YouTube. And if you want to listen to our show in your earballs at the gym, on a hike, whatever it is, you can get that on Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You get the audio version. You also get access to our watch alongs, which this week will feature Kim watching the episode for the first time since it aired, probably. And that's all I got. You guys have anything you want to add?
Nope.
Whoopsh.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Monday for episode 7.
Yep.
Dust you later.